y'all. It's Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio, and you are tuned into another episode of Inside the Chess podcast. We are in season 3. You guys have stuck it out with me, and we've got here to the 3rd season. And as I tell y'all, the guests, they get better and better every episode. And all my guests before were amazing. And just like then, right now, we have an equally amazing guest, Andrea. What's up?
For sure. What's up, everybody? My name is Andrea. I'm an author / entrepreneur from the west side of Chicago, and we're going to get into some things today. What's up, Treasure?
What up? I like that accent, you know. I like to say that I'm from the west side of Chicago, but I think I'm kind of just from the west suburbs. When I really just step back, I'm like, I'm suburbs. I'm west suburbs. I don't have that accent. And I like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, as we do every episode, I have to tell you all that theme song that you just heard is my official theme song to the podcast. And it's available to stream as well as the video is available to watch. This week's episode is called Finding My Way Back.
I like that.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah. And I named it that because... Well, first of all, if you are just tuning in to the podcast, you know that I name all of my episodes after R&B titles because I sing R&B. Okay. So every title that y'all hear is literally an R&B song that may have had some type of impact on my life and has inspired the episode that we're using it about. So for my R&B heads, you know that's a Jaheim record. You know Jaheim?
What's trying to find my way?
Hey.
It went right in my head, so you said.
Yeah, so you already know. So Jaheim, man, he one of them classic, you know, R&B, rough R&B.
For sure.
I love that rough R&B, that Jodeci, that Jaheim, that Life Jennings.
Okay,
you know.
Okay, because you tapping in now. You tapping in.
I got to now.
Okay.
I got to. But I know, Andrea, I know you're an author and an entrepreneur, just like you said. Mm-hmm. But we're just curious, my audience, because we love music over here. What did you listen to on your way here? Like, what is it that you're listening to? Are you a fan of R&B?
I am a big fan of R&B, and I love old school R&B. Right now, I'm into Mariah the Scientist, SZA, Jhené Aiko. That's like one of my favorite artists. And like I said, I just listen to like old R&B, so like R. Kelly, Jodeci, like you said. Yeah. I like a bunch of artists. Like I could go on and on about them. I like Kelly Price. Like I fucking with Kelly Price. Mary J, of course, Queen. You know, so.
Okay, yeah, you talking about me tapping in. You definitely tapped in with the Kelly Price.
Yeah, I love Kelly Price.
That's crazy.
No lie.
And then it's crazy because I named this episode Finding My Way Back because we just entering into 2025. So a lot of us are kind of looking back on the things that we may have done in our journeys and even what we are looking forward to, right? And I want to know for you, like, what was your journey in becoming an author and an entrepreneur? Like, where did that start at?
So I think my journey was real authentic. It was like never planned, to be honest. My journey in becoming an author was just me loving my craft, like something that I did within myself. As a kid, as I mentioned before, there was a lot of times where I was involved in plays, or I was involved in skits, or I was in like programs like After School Matter, or some people might know as ASM. We would just write poetry, recite, free write. I did ciphers before, so I think a lot of my ideas was just me being me, and I spoke about it on another podcast. Shout out to 290 More Podcast. I spoke on it there that I did just wake up one day and I was just like, you know, I'm putting all my poetry in a book. Yeah. I'm talking about old poetry from when I was a kid into stuff I was just making up just to, you know, have in a book. So it just really came from me being authentic, me being myself, because that's like a peaceful place for me. Like, even if I'm just writing 2 sentences a day, I might come back and finish it off. Or if I wrote 20 lines, I might go back and edit it. So I think it just came from me just being me and just being in my peaceful space. And I just created.
And I think we got to normalize that, right? Not only when we finding our way back to the things that we love to do, but we have to be okay with our old material representing who we are now. Because sometimes we look back and we're like, oh, that ain't who I am now. That ain't what I'm going through. Yeah, but it was you and you went through it. So it's somebody that may be going through it now that needs that. And I had to, that's such a toxic mindset for artists. They'll record, for me, in my world, I'll record a song and I'll be like, damn, I did that 6 years ago, but I ain't there no more. I don't feel like that no more, but I know somebody else does, so why not put it out?
It was a part of your journey.
Why not put it out, yes. Right? And so I like when you said, you put even your old stuff into a book. So is this book available to read, or is that something that you did on your own, in your own personal
those books are available to read. I have 2. The first one was published in 2018. It is available on Amazon and Kindle. The name of it is called More Than 4 Seasons. And then the second book is Manifesting What's Yours. And that one is also available on Amazon. You can type in my first and last name and both of them will pop up, which is Andrea Powell.
And how many people cross that line, right? From thinking it to writing it down on paper to actually getting it published, right? How many of us, and when I say us, not only just making it smaller, how many of us of color and how many of us as women of color do that?
You know what? It's easy to say not many, but when you're in our world, there's a lot of people who are in their own peaceful space where they find time to create. So, it might not be many to the outside world, but in our world, there's been many people who said, I'm going to get up and get off my ass today and I'm going to make something happen. Yeah. And we just so happen to be those people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes a lot to, like I say, to write a book, to expose yourself to that kind of vulnerability, because somebody can read it and have their own opinion far from what you and you got to be able to just be like, okay, well, your opinion doesn't define why I wrote it to begin with.
That's true. But I find that amazing. Yeah. Because it's like, damn, like, wait, I wasn't, you had a whole different visual of what I was actually going through, right. But your scenery is different. Like, I think that's amazing. And that makes your art even more art than what you thought it was. Like, I just think that's artistry. Yeah. It's great.
And then when you talk about, like, how you got to being an author, like your journey kind of starting just with like writing poetry and then saying, hey, I want to put this in a book. When you stepped out of that, like once the book was published, were you able to go back to being what they would say a regular person? Or did you just feel like your mind was just, anything you experienced, you like, okay, I got to write about that later. I gotta do something with that.
Because some things is it really is hard to put on paper. But I think it gave me a mindset of damn near a superhero, because it was just like, you dope as fuck, girl. Like, what the fuck? Like, you really, like, you actually did that. You literally just woke up one day and said, I'm gonna write a book. Like, yeah. Like, who told you to just get up and do that? Like, I could have still been, which I am still considered like underground writer, but I could have still been one of those people who just never published it. And I don't know, I definitely had a change in my mindset, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was just a regular girl. I felt like I was an accomplished girl.
And so you do feel like that even when you do write your poetry and stuff, some stuff just be too personal. Like,
some things be too personal, but I am a risk taker. So I don't mind being outspoken. I am very outspoken sometimes, and I can be really blunt, So I don't care about like letting the world see who I am, because I'm gonna be who I am regardless. So it's better for me to tell who I am than for you to have your own perception. whether you believe it or not. So, no, I don't really have no problem with sometimes stepping out my comfort zone, stepping out that box, laying it all on, white paper and revealing whatever colors may show. Like, I never had a problem with that.
And have you, and when you draw the line with your privacy, just as far as what you put out and stuff, like in your personal life, do you kind of do the same thing? Like, do you feel like you're more vulnerable? Like, if I was to get to know you as a friend, would I know more about you then, or would I have to read the book to find out some things?
I'm not gonna lie, you probably would have to read the book. Because I'm not as open as a friend. Like, I'm more of that friend that's always like there giving advice. Like, and sometimes I'm not, to be honest, sometimes I'm not even preaching what I could give the best advice. And I'm not, I swear to God, and I'm just not practicing what I preach. And it's like, girl, you could do all this for all these other people. But you need to read that poem again, because obviously you going through something too. So it's like, fix that shit.
That's right.
Get back up and do what you got to do. Like, so I feel like when it comes to, drawing that line, it's like a thin line. There's a thin line there. I can't say that. There is a thin line there. And as a friend, you would have to like read, because I think most of my friends who did purchase my book, they didn't know half of that shit. It's just like, what the fuck? And then right now, they probably don't even know what's true and what's not, because some of it is not true. Some of it is like just made up shit. But
exaggerated imagination.
They don't know what's true and what's not, unless they caught like some of my lives after publishing a book and me coming public saying, hey, I was going through this, because there was a poem, my very first poem in More Than 4 Seasons, which is the first book. It was a poem called Sober, about somebody I was dating at the time, and he just had a problem with drinking. So that was actually something true, and that was something I did go public about, and I expressed, the reason and the idea, where I brought the ideas from writing that poem. But other than that, like, nah, you definitely would have to read and be like, damn, girl, what you got going on over there? You ain't said nothing. So, yeah.
And I always like to bring my audience, my chess mates, into the conversation. Since you're sitting here with me, you're officially a chess mate.
Okay.
So welcome home.
Okay.
Welcome home.
Okay.
And chess mates, I want to know, because I know you guys are active in the comments after every episode. I want to know, like, when you found yourself inside your artistry, when you found the confidence that Andrea Powell has,
for sure,
within your artistry, what did you find out about yourself? Because I know sometimes the moment we start writing this shit down and start getting it out ourselves, we read it back, we like, yo, we didn't even know we felt that way.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, it be some out of body shit for real. So how many times have you all had that experience where you've got to know yourself even more by writing down your pain, or writing down even your successes, and maybe you had to suppress them because you had jealous people around you?
I'm interested to know too. Y'all drop them comments.
Drop them comments,
please.
And then in your experience though, what has it been?
Well,
you feel me? Yeah.
I've noticed, like, when writing, like when I'm in like a mode of writing something like sexy or seductive, it's like, oh, you got like an alter ego type. Yeah. Or when I'm in like a sad mood and I want to write something deep, I notice that I have to really dig and kind of tap in. And sometimes it brings out more of like an angry emotion than a sad emotion. So those are like two of the things that I, kind of notice when I do create my art.
The multiple personalities, right?
Definitely. It's a little bit.
Oh my God. It's
chaos about okay. They be going crazy.
It's about a few. I ain't even gonna say it now, but y'all, it's a few of them. It's more than two. It's more than two. And they come in handy with our artistry, right? But
they
sometimes
do.
In our personal life, they may come out sometimes when we don't want them to, but we wouldn't have nothing to write about if those situations didn't take place, right?
For sure.
So we so tapped in and dived into this topic, but y'all already know we're gonna take a little break. Y'all know I gotta stretch. I gotta look in the mirror, man. I want y'all to do the same. And when we come back, man, we're gonna talk about how me and Andrea met, because I know y'all sitting here like, okay, well, how y'all get here?
For sure.
Yeah. So
we're gonna let them know.
We're gonna break it down for y'all, and then y'all know she gonna play the game. Y'all love to get see.
I love it.
Brings joy.
Definitely.
It brings joy. So, yep, when we come back, y'all, on Inside the Chest, we're going to give y'all the best, all right?
Let's get it.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Treasure, aka Treasur Necole, your favorite Scorpio. And we are back on Inside the Chest podcast. Now, before we took the break, I told you all that we was going to get into the history of me and Andrea. And y'all was going to see where that started. Because we talked about how our own individual journey started.
Yep.
But as far as collectively, how we got here, I met you at the Thank You for Listening Part 2.
Vibes.
With 290 Mo. Shout out to 290.
Shout out.
And like you said, vibes.
Vibes. It was nothing but good vibes.
Literally every time he does those, right? I feel like there's more of a crowd. I feel like it's more of a vibe. It just gets better and better. So I look forward to the next one.
Yep. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm not gonna...
Which you're gonna be at, correct?
Yes. Performing live.
Now what you gonna be performing?
Poetry. Yes, we're gonna get into some things.
And actually, when I watched your interview, I saw that Mo did share with you about the pen flow writing sessions that take place on Wednesdays.
He did.
Yep, they have refreshments. They have a on the spot writing topic, and it's a great crowd. They have a videographer taping the whole situation. So after you perform, you can go back on YouTube. I've been there a couple times. And I took Mo with me one day, and obviously he liked it, which I'm glad. Because he's not the type of person to say, "Oh, I had fun." You know, you just have to kind of gas.
You gotta pull it out.
I guess he had a good time. He ain't said nothing bad about it.
So,
So it was definitely a vibe. We should go. All three of us should go. Maybe one Wednesday or whatever when I'm not taping.
That's my type of party. I'm not gonna lie.
And thank you for listening. You were actually doing a hosting. You were hosting a show. Can you talk about that a little bit, if that's still going on?
Yes, I was hosting our podcast, which we just rebranded. It's actually called Unapologetically Nonchalant now. We went from Woo Up the Bam to Unapologetically Nonchalant, and we just basically talk about different and various topics. So it's not like just one certain topic that we always touch. We can be talking about being homeless to, how did you become a millionaire? So we move around with it, and we just bounce off each other. And I think we really got it. We didn't even touch the third topic. Like the crowd was so engaged. It was a good turnout. Like the crowd was so engaged. I feel like we really outdid ourselves with
you came through. Y'all came through. And again, that's the first time that we had experienced each other, and I remember you giving me my props after I had came off the stage, and then I actually thought you were just I didn't even know you were gonna get up and do nothing. And then once you did, I'm like, okay, it's like, okay, this makes sense to me.
Yeah, I wasn't there just to be cute. I was like,
exactly.
I'm here for the vibes too.
Yeah.
I was tapping in.
Facts.
And when you got up there, I was just like, okay, she just did that. She's so like, if I wanted to invest in a podcast like that day, you probably would have been number one. Seriously, because you everything was precise, it was timely, everything was perfect. Like you really had me sold, and you made me laugh. You had serious topics, so I was just like, I need to tap in. And now look, I'm here.
There we go. And see, I am funny.
More vibes.
You girls can be funny. They don't think we can be funny.
We the funniest. No, for real, we the funniest.
Will you tell them?
We the funniest, for sure.
Come on, man. They just be so caught up in the. But anyway, speaking of being beautiful and being confident, you make it, you stress in the best way possible beauty and books, right?
Yes.
Because I don't know why this is, but for the longest time, reading wasn't cool.
I don't know why, because reading is so fundamental. And even if fundamental doesn't sound cool, you should tap in, and you will be surprised about the things that you pick up on. Like, even things that may not be as fundamental as something that is very informational to you. You will pick up so much, like, especially like a person like me. Often people ask me, what would you tell somebody who's trying to become a writer or somebody who's trying to publish a book? I believe 290 he asked me that one of my last interviews, and I was like, I would tell them to read more.
Yeah.
You know, because it's so much when saying poetry, it's so much when writing something down, like, you need to read. I think that's a big requirement. Like, I think people just don't like to read.
And you know the crazy, I think it's two things that go into that, right? It's the stereotype of that saying where if you want to hide something from a black person, right? I hate to bring it on race, but it's a real thing in our reality.
It is.
Put it in a book. And it's like, that's a real thing because we can't sit still long enough. You have to sit still to read. You can't read and clean. You can't read and watch TV. No, you have to be fully in order to get the information. So,
but you know, I'm kind of disagree with you on that.
Okay, talk to me.
Cause I be reading. I read and work.
Yeah.
I can read. I can read.
I give you that.
I can read and I can read and do other things. Nothing too crazy though. You know.
But see, you're a genius. We talking about.
You know, you said it.
We talking about the normal capacity of a human. You ever seen the movie Lucy?
No.
Watch the movie Lucy. It's with Morgan Freeman and Scarlett Johansson. Free promo in case y'all want to make a remake of a Black Lucy. I'm available. But this is what it is, right? It's about this girl who's able to use more than 10% of her brain, because they say as humans we only use 10% of our brain. And if we use more than that, we can move objects, we can do all kind of stuff. And so I talk about that and I say, yeah, of course you can probably read and listen to music and holler at your friend, but the regular person, they have to
really focus.
When they have, and I think that's the fear, to sit down in silence. Let's just say the ultimate amount of focus, no distractions, in silence, and really read without having on your mind, oh, I gotta pay this bill, oh, I gotta pick my kid up, I gotta do this, you know.
If you could tap into just reading something that you're interested into, not nothing that we just tell you, here, read this, like, pick what you're interested in and then venture out to what's informational, because that's what'll help you focus. You know, you will be surprised how bored you are not.
Yes.
Some people be like, oh, that's boring. No, trust me. You will be enthusiastic about what's going to happen next. Oh, I need this next book. Oh, I need to see what happened at the end.
Just like a Netflix series, right?
I'm trying to tell you.
It's the same kind of way.
It's just more detailed.
Yep. And that kind of went into what I was going to talk about, just how to start and where to start. You're saying, hey, if you want to publish a book and you're serious about it, start reading more.
Definitely.
But after that, what's next? Okay, I've got the knowledge. Now what do? Do I write it down, and do I connect? Is it about who you know?
It's about whatever you want it to be about. You know, as an author, I think people forget that at the end of the day, you're creating. So whether it's believable, non-believable, fake, make-believe, you know, real, it's about whatever it is that you want to write about. Like, some people be so caught up on, oh, I don't have no title for this. That could be the last thing you do. That was literally the last thing that I did. I didn't go for a title first. I edited everything first. I had an outline of what I wanted to go first, what I wanted to go next. And then I used my resources. I reached out to people. I talked. I met up at libraries with publishers and people who were interested in working with me and helping me push it out. So it's all about taking certain steps, and there's no certain order. There's no certain order. And when you find yourself getting stuck in one area, you move on to the next. Do what's easy first, and then figure out the hard last. Because if you're going to be stuck, you'll want to be stuck when you damn near done.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be stuck in the beginning and it never goes anywhere. So that's just my advice on that.
That's what's up. And it's cold outside right now, y'all. So we got the long sleeve and the sweatshirts on. But right here on the you have any tattoos?
I actually do.
You do?
Yes.
Where they at?
So I have one here on my collarbone. It's a key. It says honesty.
Okay.
So I'm more honest than a liar. Like I'm a horrible liar.
I hear you.
And then I have a bird. It was supposed to be finished. It had like a book that was supposed to be dragging from it.
Okay.
But it's connected to a feather that's falling apart with my mother's death date, which was 2 days before Christmas, before I graduated high school. So that means a lot to me. Yes. And then there's a word, love. Because I love love.
You with that.
Thank you.
And you gave me love for my father, so I give you that same love back for your mother.
Thank you.
For sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And just talking about tattoos, I actually got a tribute from my father a long time ago before he was, when he first got sick, when I was around 18 years old. And it's like a broken piano with his name in cursive with a treble clef because he was a piano player and all that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, my daddy was like Morris Day off Purple Rain. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Okay.
But right here, I got a pen and it says Author of My Destiny, right?
Love that.
That reminds you sitting here, just reminds you can write your own story in life. Your story doesn't have to be written by anybody else.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
You feel that, right?
100%.
How many people have tried to write your story for you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so many people fall into that, and you realize that, wait, hold on, this is my life. Just like we was talking about off camera, this is my page.
Exactly.
If I want to delete all this shit and start over, if I want to delete all y'all,
I can.
Start over.
I run it.
Exactly.
I'm running the show.
This is our world right
For
now.
sure.
And Inside the Chest, we stress on literally what's inside the heart, because as artists, we got to put on this guard. When we outside, we got to put on the guard. That's why they think we mean. That's why they think we mad or whatever. Yeah. No, I have to put this on.
Yes.
Because you may not be meaning me no harm, but I can't say that for the other 200 people in here.
Exactly.
You feel me? So what's your aura like as a Black female author going into arenas where you may be outnumbered by singers, by dancers, or do you feel any kind of intimidation when you're a part of on that same ticket as them or anything like that?
What's crazy is I don't feel intimidation. Like, I am that type of person who's rooting for everybody. You know, until you show me that I just shouldn't root for you, because maybe it's just a really bad reason behind it. But other than that, I want everybody to win. Yeah. I have no intimidation. I don't really look at people as competition either. Like, I'm doing this for me. Yeah. I ain't doing this to go against you or to see if I can get more money than you. I'm doing this for me to elevate. It's just about me. Yeah. I don't see nobody else. So.
And again, that's another thing that makes you unique, because there's so many people that's looking out in the crowd and wondering what they saying instead of just focusing on themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
definitely.
Because if any of us were to focus on the crowd during one of those thank you for listening things, we wouldn't be able to do our show. We try to figure out what she's saying, what they saying in the back. They talking, they too loud in the back. Yeah. If you command the attention. Hey, you got the flow. Give me 10 minutes and I could.
You got the whole room. What you say? Okay. You're not wrong.
So, it's just amazing to just, when we finally step into our purpose, that's when we start to attract the like-minded. Yeah. We be trying to attract the like-minded, not doing our purpose, and it don't work like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to write. You have to do poetry if you want your future to represent that. I can't hang around bums and losers and whatever that definition may be for anyone. I can't hang around people who don't have my same interests and expect to elevate. Yeah. So when did you, before our last commercial break, right? When did you realize that you had to separate yourself from maybe your old life, or maybe just some of the things you used to do? Like, damn, I can't keep doing all this shit.
When it comes to my art, I think I learned something new every day that I should separate myself from. I learned about different people I should separate myself from. But when I really sat down and noticed that, I would say is when I came into like a certain realization with myself when I was dealing with other things within self. It was like, okay, now you closed off from all these people. It's just you and these four walls. Like, when it's time for you to get back up, what you gonna do? Who you gonna be around? What do you want to gravitate towards you? So I feel like I came to a realization of that within the last 2.5 years. Like, I just came into that realization where it's like, okay, you got your friends over here, you got your associates over here. Just because you my friend, that doesn't mean that you like what I do. You know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and just because you my associate doesn't mean that you're gonna support what I do. So when you go to these outings and when you go to these, you know, thank you for listening events, these are your people. These are all the people who are on the same page as you. These are all the same people who want to perfect their craft. These are the people who are going to gravitate to you more. So I think a lot of times we think like, oh, because that's my family, like they supposed to, like, they might just not be into what you into. They might support you, but not in a different way. Like, everybody has a different definition of support. So I think when I came to a realization of just separating myself from the world is when I came to a realization, okay, this is this, that is that, and we're going to get it together. We're going to get back out there. So, you know, it's about giving yourself grace.
Hey, and I heard you talk about that so much in the last interview I had watched of you about just giving yourself grace, giving yourself permission to feel and to just be okay with not knowing everything.
Definitely.
Because if we knew everything, we wouldn't need anything, and we all need somebody. We need something, all that, right? Don't get me started.
Look, because you started.
And y'all, listen, we're going to take one more final break, you guys, because these commercial breaks are so important because you guys are being exposed to new music videos, new singles, and just things that are going on outside of the podcast. And Andrea didn't know I sang, y'all.
Look, I gotta tap in. I'm tapping in with y'all.
You know what? On this episode, when we go back and edit, Mo, you hold me to this. We're going to put all my music in these commercial breaks. So Andrea cannot say, because we know she going to watch her episode. If nothing else, she going to watch
I'm going to watch a couple episodes tonight. You got to hold me to it.
Listen, pull you up a drink and sit down and watch Inside the Chest.
Yes.
It's like that. And when we come back, y'all, we're going to play your favorite game. And we're going to wrap it up with Miss Andrea Powell. And y'all gonna see us soon live on the same stage. So don't even trip about, this episode wasn't long enough. Part 2.
We're gonna clock that because she getting into some things.
You feel me? All right, y'all. We'll be right back.
You saw the me I never thought you'd see. You ought to be more than what you are to me. Should we take the step right now? Should we break a heart in a city? Would you risk it all for the kitty?
What's up, y'all? We are back. And you know what? I purposely moved this game a little later into the show because I realized y'all like it. You know, it used to be early on in the show, but y'all already know we here to play Trash or Treasure.
Okay.
You like that?
Because we finna get into some things.
Now, here's the thing. This game is so interesting because this game was what won Andrea over, all right? It was this game right here. So let me tell y'all, when we make it a board game or whatever kind of game show, whatever we're going to do with it next, we're going to have you back.
Okay, speaking into existence.
Hey. So the first thing, we've talked about so much deep stuff, and we talked about, just inside the chest, right? But something that I haven't heard you talk about, not in any of your interviews really, is interracial relationships.
Ooh.
Right? Let me tell you something, right? Because as Black women, right, it be hard. it'd be hard to go outside the race because we're exposed to sometimes only one thing for years before we go out on our own and do our shit. So trash or treasure, I want to know, like, you fucking with people outside your race or what? And it don't make you racist, it don't make you prejudiced.
It's hard because I have.
Okay, you have.
I have. So that it gets spicy now. I might have to trash or treasure it.
Okay, you definitely gonna have to. It's all right. It's all opinion based.
That's crazy. You know what? No. Yeah. I might have to trash that one.
You gonna trash interracial relationships.
I love black men. I love black men. I don't know. There's just something about black men. Like,
would it be too much for me to ask when you did experience the relationship, what race was it with? Was it with Hispanic? Was it with Caucasian?
So, well, one is still considered black because he was black and white.
Okay.
And then the other, well, he was various, but he was more, he was Puerto Rican. And he was Puerto Rican and black. So
technically.
Yeah, so technically.
Technically, I see why you trashed the interracial relationships. Because they ain't really been one for real.
You know what? It was one, but I can't remember because he was like 3 different things, and neither one of them was black, so I can't even remember what the fuck it was. But it was more of like a.
And you know, as black people, we kind of some races, some even other races, we try to claim because sometimes we'll say, if they Puerto Rican, Dominican, that's black. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we like that, but I feel you when you said, you know, you dealt with somebody and you just love black men. Black men are royalty, and we have to go back.
Yeah.
We have to get on camera more as women and say that.
For sure.
Because right now it's like
everybody's against them.
Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't this. Niggas ain't that. Hold on, my daddy was a black man. You know. You know.
He wasn't shit either. But I'm just saying.
Hey, my daddy did some things. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. No. Those who know, they know. But you know what? He didn't pass it on to me. I'm the good guy. I'm the good girl.
For sure.
I try to be.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So Andrea is trashing the interracial relationship.
I'm trashing it. I love my black men.
I got you. So let's talk about, because I know you had mentioned, I'm not sure if it was off camera or on camera, you mentioned that you had kids, right?
Yes, one.
You have one kid, you have a child. So when it comes to men with kids, are we trashing or treasuring that? And when I say men with kids, I'm talking about, let's just say more than 2. Yeah, buddy.
So so before I had a child, like if I didn't have a child, it would be okay for me to say trash. But because I have a child, I can't be a hypocrite. You know, just because they had more kids than me. I could have been the female with 3 kids, 2 baby daddies. You know, that just ain't my story. But I've dated a man who had 2 kids with 2 different baby mamas. So, you know, I'm a treasure because he ain't did shit to me. He did nothing but treat me good.
You know what? I always say, I'll take 2 baby mamas. After 2 baby mamas, that'll be kind of hard for me to deal with. I will take 2 baby mamas and I'll take the two kids max. Maybe 3 if they twins.
I think
they got a set of twins.
I think it's a little ghetto to have more than one baby mama, baby daddy, but you know, it is what it is. We human.
We are.
So you know, I'm a treasure that. I'm not gonna trash it.
I don't have any children yet, you know, and if God decides to bless me with something, so be it. But it's a lot of women that have kids that say, I don't want a man with kids. You know, it's that view too, and it's like.
You kind of got to look at yourself in the mirror when you say that. Because when you're on your side of the field and you're this woman with 2 kids and somebody with 2 kids, like you might be a woman with 2 kids and 1 baby daddy, where he might be a man with 2 kids and 2 baby mamas. Like, it's a bit of a hypocrisy there.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what? We got 1 trash and 1 treasure. So we're going to see, we got 1 more for you. We're going to see where the ball drops, okay?
Okay.
So you're an author?
Yes, ma'am.
and you read.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to know, because I know when I was a kid, I was bad. I was reading them Zane novels.
I used to read them. No lie.
I'm like, what am I reading? I don't know, but it's good. I don't know.
I used to get tired of that shit.
Hey, so I want to know trash or treasure erotic novels, like the real erotic ones, the ones that say, you know, what it say. Y'all know what it is. This is a Sunday
We
evening
treasuring
show. Y'all know
it.
what it is.
We treasuring that.
We treasuring the erotic novels.
I just love it.
Is that your favorite genre of like book or?
No.
Okay.
I like a little bit of everything.
Like crime, drama,
Yeah.
mystery.
Definitely drama.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like my favorite genre in books and movies. Like, it got to be a little bit of drama in it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
So Treasure won. She trashed the interracial relationships. She treasured the men with kids. Men, you got a chance. You got a chance.
No, we did not say... Baby, we ain't say all that. Please don't be in my DMs.
They gonna look at this and say, "Who Drea fine ass, huh?"
No.
That's they
Left
looking
on
at the,
scene.
they looking at the handle. They looking at the handle. Okay.
No.
And then we got erotic novels. You treasure them. So that's what's up.
Definitely.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I respected as a young kid the Zane novels, even the I actually read 50 Shades of Grey before they turned it into a movie.
I've never read it, but I love the movie.
Great book. I think the book is better than the movie.
That's all I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I gotta see for myself.
Yep, you got to. And so, going out of that, man, you know that's the game, so thank you for playing the game.
For sure.
Hey. So going out of that, just talking about our emotions and our spirituality, what's it like being a mother, right? And balancing that peace to be able to create, but as well as being just as good as an author as you are a mother. For the people who want to start and say, man, I got a kid though.
If you think I'm a great author, maybe I've mastered being a mother. Like, that comes before anything. I don't care what, I could not write for 3 months, but as long as I'm still being number one mom.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Baby, the world could stop. I'm still being mom. I'm cheering you on to get everybody else froze. I'm there. Like, I'm 100% in with my son. I don't play that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it comes to being a mom and trying to be a writer, mom is always going to overcome. That shit can wait. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know. But also, I make it balance a little bit. Like, but I am definitely more elevating as a mom than I am an author. And that just probably just got to do with, like, who I am at heart. Like, kids are the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I take pride in it. I take pride in just making sure that my son got everything that he need, and sometimes everything that he won't.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's sometimes you'll get the unpopular opinion that says my kid takes away from my creativity. I just feel like kids add to our youth. It adds to our longevity.
They do.
They don't take away people. So if you're sitting at home and you're saying, "Hey, I got 1, 2, 3 kids, and I just feel like I can't do anything," you look at your kids and you do it for them.
Yeah. You gotta find the positivity in being a parent.
Yeah.
Because other than that, you'll just be beating yourself up all day.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's tough. But it's also believable that you will elevate. Like, you will definitely just keep pushing. Like, you're gonna find the greatness in it. Like, my child is like my best friend.
Yeah.
For real. Like, my son is everything to me.
Yeah.
He's been on the honor roll since he's enrolled in school. He was also in a poetry program I didn't even know. Being in a soccer program, they made them do poetry too. So
yeah, his
first show, where even though it wasn't much that he got up there and said, but I'm not gonna lie, like, I was in tears because it just brought back memories. Like, damn, like, I remember having shows and programs in the auditorium, and my mom being there. It was a show my mom was trying to make it to, and she didn't even make it to when I was in the program After School Matters, and it just brought back so many memories. I'm just like, damn, like, you getting older now, you got a child, and it's like, it was just so many emotions coming in one. I'm just like, it's amazing, but at the same time, it's like bringing out so many emotions out of me. And I was trying to clap and not cry at the same time. It just, I don't know. It's an experience.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful experience.
It's beautiful. And I know that, I don't know how old is your son?
He is 10.
Oh, cause he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, so
he's a big boy.
He can look at stuff and kind of take notes from stuff. And I know that just by hearing you talk about him, I know that you set the best example. And I know it's plenty of mothers that look at this podcast and they're trying to figure out, is it too late to start? Where should I start? What should I do? And I know when they watch this episode, that's going to be their kick push into whatever it is they got going on. So with that being said, tell the people what you got coming up.
You know what? Y'all going to have to stay tuned to see. But I will leave you with, it's never too late, and just give yourself grace.
Yes. And just a fun question I had. If you were to write another book right now, you had to turn it in tonight, what would be the title of that book?
Oh. If I had to turn it in tonight.
Where you at right now?
Where I'm at right now? It probably would be a world full of chaos. Only because my mind just be going everywhere sometimes. So sometimes, you know, we be in these mental states and we just in one state. But if you're a person who's a deep thinker and you overthink sometimes you everywhere with it. So I would just say a world full of chaos.
Yeah, everywhere and nowhere at all.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
Seriously.
It's like, oh shit.
Definitely.
You know, and so with that being said, Andrea, thank you for coming on Inside the Chest.
Yes.
You're such a vibe. I'm so glad that I met you.
For sure.
And y'all already know y'all gonna catch us at part 3 of Thank You for Listening, the podcast / performance show that I know is gonna go on tour with the many other shows under the umbrella of 290 Mo Podcast. With that being said, guys, you already know you can follow Andrea Powell on the description below on all platforms, and this is going to be everywhere, y'all. Apple Podcasts, iHeart, what else, Mo? Spotify Podcasts. Listen, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can listen to Inside the Chest.
Stay tuned.
So we'll see y'all, and we'll let y'all know what's next.